the permanent locks out, which are not intended to be cut out.
That's not my doing. So this is the thing. You know what's interesting?
So here's what I want to ask you. She's showing me a picture, and it does have a date of December 3rd, and she's showing me that that's her hair. So,
Your Honor, that could easily be sewing. Did you see the video I showed you? Did you see the video I showed you of her natural hair?
Yeah, I know. That's where I'm having trouble, because you can't tell me that when your hair is wet, all of a sudden it gets to 9 inches shorter. We're done, guys.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done means nobody else talks. Now I talk.
Okay.
All right.
Have you ever felt completely misunderstood, especially by someone in charge? That whole situation with Judge Milan on the People's Court really highlights a huge problem. When someone in charge, like a judge, just can't wrap their head around something as basic as natural black hair shrinkage and then dismisses it, and that's just plain unprofessionalism. You see it all the time in real life too, with so-called hair professionals who just refuse to listen to clients. I found it incredibly ironic that the judge seemed to claim she understood hair, even remarking that she understood locks, but then completely stumbled when confronted with shrinkage. Did you notice her demeanor change too? She got this air of confidence, like she was genuinely convinced she had a handle on a whole aspect of black hair because she knew a single fact about locks. True understanding clearly stopped there because shrinkage completely bewildered her. First, let's talk about what shrinkage actually is. Shrinkage is just what naturally happens with Afro texture hair, whether it's wet or when its air dries without being stretched. It gets much shorter than its actual length. Think of it like a spring. When it's relaxed, it coils up tight. Black hair strands have a unique tight spiral pattern. When they get wet, they absorb water, and those coils tighten up even more. As the hair dries, it shrinks and pulls upwards, often making it look half or even less than half of its true length. It's completely normal and doesn't mean that the hair is unhealthy. It's just how many types of natural black hair happens to, quote unquote, behave. Now back to the courtroom. A courtroom is supposed to be all about evidence, but then a judge admits she's having trouble understanding this very common hair phenomenon and still won't even look at video proof from the plaintiff. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like saying, my experience tells me this isn't true, so your evidence doesn't matter. But come on, just because your hair doesn't shrink like that or would have never seen black hair do this doesn't mean it's not true. What makes this particular incident even more unsettling is a subtle yet powerful dynamic, the potential for beauty bias. I couldn't help but notice the plaintiff was dark-skinned, proudly wore her afro out, and was a bit heavier than the defendant. It's impossible to say for certain what was on the judge's mind, but it makes you wonder if an unconscious bias based on skin tone, body size, or hair texture might have played a role. This kind of colorism or beauty bias influences how credible or sympathetic someone is perceived to be, even by those who strive for impartiality. I know that TV court is supposed to be entertaining, but I don't find humiliation or ignorance of basic hair science one bit amusing. In fact, the show could have literally garnered far more attention and respect if the judge had shown genuine interest, concern, and a willingness to learn. Imagine the positive impact of a judge publicly acknowledging her gap in knowledge and then on national television being educated on a common black hair phenomenon. That would have been truly compelling and a real public service rather than what felt like a dismissive spectacle. How are you the people's court when you are actively dismissing black women's experiences? And for a TV network to allow this to air without any educational context or even a follow-up is just baffling. From that perspective, the whole case was literally a waste of time, serving only to highlight a profound lack of understanding rather than dispensing justice. How not getting it hurts people and the system. Not getting it is a dismissive attitude that lacks cultural competence, combined with potential unconscious biases, really messes up things for the person standing in front of the judge, and it has bigger ripples for black people navigating the whole legal system. For the plaintiff, the judge basically said, I don't believe your hair does what you say it does. And that instantly makes her seem less credible, even if her claim is totally valid and based on the simple reality of hair shrinkage. It's like her truth is being questioned just because someone in power doesn't understand it, potentially amplified by how she presents herself. And that's a direct hit to her case and how seriously she's taken.
This message is for Judge Marilyn Milan. I think that you need to stop taking cases that revolve around black women and their hair. Because time and time again, you show black women and people around the world that you truly have no knowledge when it comes to black hair. I just saw this clip on TikTok where a black woman was talking to Judge Milan. It was a case about black hair. And then Judge Milan gonna say to her, oh, you're gonna tell me that because your hair is wet, it shrinks like 9 inches? No, that's not real. Yes, Judge Millian, it's called shrinkage. When black people get their hair wet, it coils up because of the curl pattern that we have. It's called shrinkage. Yes, your hair can look 9 inches shorter with shrinkage. I've seen young black girls that have hair down their back that's 22 inches long. And then when they get it wet, it coils up to literally 16 inches or shorter. It's a real thing. Stop taking cases revolving around black hair, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody been talking about Judge Marilyn Milan. She had a case. Y'all know Judge be on TV. She had a case where the young lady who had natural, regular black people hair was trying to explain to her, hey, when my hair gets wet, it shrinks. I can straighten my hair, but when it gets wet, it shrinks. Like every black person, just like most of us, when you got curly black hair, your hair be longer. When you pull it, but of course, in its natural state, it coils up. Judge Marilyn Milan was like, so you're trying to tell me that all of a sudden, if your hair just gets wet, it loses like 9 inches, it just shrinks up? Yes. But you know what? This is my thing. I'm not mad at Judge Marilyn Milan. I ain't mad at her. I'm not upset with her at all because she ain't at the damn cookout. She don't know. You know who I am upset with? That black ass bailiff that could have said something. You could have said, sir. You've been black all your life, sir. Why you ain't turn around and say, no, Judge, she actually telling the truth. That happens with black hair. We have shrinking. You been black you ain't just get black. You ain't black just for the damn show. Why you ain't turn around and say, yeah, she telling the truth. You got a room, it's 4, 5, 10, 13 black people sitting in the room trying to tell her behind what the hell going on. But you the bailiff. Y'all got a relationship. You could have sat there and told her, yeah, Your Honor, she ain't lying. When black people hair get wet, it do shrink. Why in the hell you ain't say nothing with your black ass? See, I ain't mad at her. Like I said, she ain't at the damn cookout. She don't know. She don't know nothing about, because when her hair get wet, it just lay down. We different. Our hair's the only hair that defy gravity. Our hair go up. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Why your black behind ain't say nothing? You black? Ain't you? You been black all your life. I'm sure you was born black. You knew good and hell well what that girl was trying to say. And don't tell me you couldn't say nothing, because I done seen too many judge shows where the damn bailiff do be saying stuff. So your ass could have said that. I ain't mad at Judge Marilyn. She don't know. If you're ignorant, you're just ignorant. And sometimes if somebody don't know, they just don't know. I ain't mad at you for not knowing. But I do get mad with somebody whose opinion can actually matter to the person who doesn't know. Well, you could have sat up there and said, hey, no, she ain't lying. This the case right here. You know what I mean? Let me school you real fast and give you some understanding. But you didn't say that. Your black ass sit there with your mouth closed. I'm mad with you, sir. Do better.
So Judge Milan doesn't understand black hair or how it works. Let me give you a little experiment. Now, I just pulled out a little section right here. This is a cup of water right here. So I'm just gonna dip my hand in there. See, my hand's wet. Let me show you what happens to my hair when water gets on it. Wait, because it takes forever for my hair to absorb water. This is some conditioner. I'm gonna show you the difference between water in my hair, just water alone, and conditioner. I guess she thought the girl was lying when she said her hair mid-back length and then it would shrink back up and be really short. It happens. Shrinkage is definitely real. As you can see, my hair is trying to shrink back up. Put some more water and push it back. I just pulled a little piece out. And this is my natural hair. If I were to let it air dry with a blow dryer or whatever, it would definitely shrink up to right here. Unless I twist it out and do like a little stretch on it. Now let's put some conditioner on it. More than I need, but just curl up to probably about right there because my shrinkage is extreme. Okay, it's about 15 minutes later. I think this is about as short as it would actually get. Natural hair does have its own buoyancy. It shrinks on command. We can't really control it. So there's a video that basically resurfaced of Judge Milan telling a black woman in her courtroom that black people's hair doesn't shrink when it's wet. And the black lady was trying to explain to her and give her some type of knowledge of how black people's hair works, but she wasn't listening to it and she kept cutting her off. And now there's people that's down Judge Milan's throat on TikTok. And if I'm going to be honest with you, rightfully so, because how are you going to sit here and tell somebody with a whole different type of hair texture than you from a whole different community that that's not how it works when you don't even know for real? And you want to know the crazy thing about it is that I watched this video a couple months back, I think either earlier this year or sometime last year. And people in the comments were basically saying everything that y'all here on TikTok are saying. And I hope that she comes out and says something. She might not. I'm not going to hold my breath with it for real. I don't expect y'all to either or assume that she's going to come out and say something. She might have seen it already. Who knows? She might have not. Who knows? But I just feel like if you don't know much on a certain topic, you shouldn't feel so confident to say yes like that or no, it's not like that when, like I said, you're not educated on the situation. And like I said in my video, the lady was definitely trying to tell Judge Milan like how it really works. And me personally, I feel like she just didn't care to like really hear and understand and be educated so that she doesn't make another ignorant comment like that. But who knows?
The thing with Judge Milan, I'm not surprised by her. I'm not surprised by none of that. Because the thing is with Judge Milan, how you pronounce her name, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. But the thing is, she been like this since the beginning. She been like this since season 1 of her show. I'll never forget when that black woman that came on her show during the first season clocked her on how she behaves towards black women. Like, I'm not surprised. And not only that, with Judge Milan, she doesn't, how do I explain it? It's like she will overtalk people, think she know what the fuck she's talking about when she clearly doesn't. Like, you can see it all the time because she clearly overtalks people and don't actually listen. She don't bring in no experts, don't bring in no nothing. This is why I prefer Judge Faith. Because Judge Faith will actually bring in experts on the fucking topic. You can tell she actually read her court cases. Like, she actually read the documents. Judge Milan, she don't do that shit. Like, when she's in a bad mood, just know you're gonna lose. Like, even when you have all the evidence, she gonna find a way to make your ass lose.
Imagine trying to explain something so normal to your daily life and someone in a position of authority just brushes it off like it's unbelievable. That can feel incredibly frustrating, embarrassing, and frankly, pretty insulting. It makes you feel like your reality doesn't count. This isn't just about one judge on a TV show. It's a tiny example of how a lack of understanding and pervasive unconscious biases in the justice system can really hurt Black people. If judges or cops or lawyers don't get cultural nuances, whether it's hair, language, or certain behaviors, they can easily misinterpret things. That leads to unfair treatment, wrongful decisions, and frankly, it just makes people lose trust in the system altogether. How can you believe in justice if you feel like you won't even be understood, especially when your very appearance might be silently judged? So, this is another example of colorism and texturism. You have a dark-skinned woman with 4C hair, proudly wearing it, trying to get justice, and the court silences her, ultimately telling her that they don't acknowledge her existence about hair that grows out of her scalp. And you can't make this up. The whole hair thing isn't just about personal preference. It's tied to a long history of discrimination against Black people, especially Black women in schools and workplaces. The Crown Act exists because of this. Nonetheless, these inequalities still exist. What do you think is the most crucial step we can take to ensure better cultural understanding and address hidden biases in our justice system? What are your thoughts in general about this subject? And thank you so much for listening to Books and Looks TV. I'll see y'all next time.